Centuries before modern Nigeria existed, a fearless queen transformed the hunger city-state of Zazan into a regional power. Her name was Queen Amina. A brilliant military led armies on horseback, conquering neighboring territories and expanding Zazan's influence. Her technology wealth, she's symbol of courage and strategic brilliance, and a lasting icon of Nigerian heritage.
In the late 1800s, one man stood between the British Empire and the Niger Delta. He surrendered to save his people, but his legacy would outlive empire. A leader who dared to defend his homeland.
If you want to splash.
One of Africa's most powerful cavalry empires collapsed from internal conflict and rebellion. The clash of steel and shouts of battle fill the air. The Oyo Empire, built on a formidable cavalry, once stood as Africa's most powerful kingdom, but its greatest threat came from within. Rivalries weakened the throne, and rebellion shattered the realm. By the early 1800s, the mighty empire had collapsed, yet its culture and influence endured. Long before many famous civilizations, a mysterious civilization thrived in Nigeria, the Nok. They were among Africa's earliest iron smelters, their innovations transforming life. Yet their greatest mystery is why they vanished, leaving no written records. Their secrets buried still. More than 2,000 years ago, the No civilizations thrived. They left earliest known written records, and no explanation for why their civilization suddenly disappeared. But many questions remain suddenly unanswered. For centuries, giant mud walls defended one of Africa's greatest commercial cities. Rising from the plains of Hansanian, the Kono walls stretched for nearly 24 kilometers. Merchants from North Africa crossed the Sahara, exchanging them for valuable products. Kono's bustling markets, more than a fortress, became Gumruncha centers in West. The power, wealth, and resilience of one of Africa's greatest pre-colonial kingdoms.
Long before modern Nigeria existed, a massive wall protected one of Africa's Fanhane Alab strip. Massive gates controlling every entrance. Built over centuries, the walls shield Afro Kano from invading armies, reminder of one of Africa's greatest pre-colonial kingdoms.
In 1897, one of Africa's greatest kingdoms was attacked, not for land, but for its priceless treasures. Soldiers stormed Benin City, burned the royal palace, and looted thousands of intricate bronze planks. More than a century later, the Benin bronze have become powerful symbols of African history, cultural resilience. The attack shattered a kingdom, but it failed to erase its legacy. More than a century later, the Benin bronze have become powerful symbols of African history, cultural resilience, and the global movement to return stolen heritage to its rightful home.
In 1929, the British thought Igbo women would remain silent. They were wrong. Armed with songs, drums, and unbreakable unity, they challenged an empire. They were met with violence, but their courage could not be crushed. They forced the British to back down. This is southeastern Nigeria, 1929. A rumor of a new tax on women is about to shake an empire. More than 10,000 women organize with astonishing speed. They surround colonial courts, confront officials, and justice. British authorities answer with armed force, but the resistance refuses to disappear. In 1929, the British colonial government made a grave miscalculation. They believed the women of southeastern Nigeria would remain silent. They were wrong. Armed not with weapons, but with songs, dances, and unbreakable determination, they challenged an empire. Thousands strong, they demanded justice. It was a defining moment.
For over 30 years, a hidden war raged deep in the forests of Nigeria's Niger Delta. Selting signing Fortintazain Feiklist rainforest, but they Karen Unbish to be at term to the Brachattel. It was called the Ekumeku Resistance. They struck from the dense forests and disappeared before the British could respond. A guerrilla war of determination and local knowledge. A struggle that would echo through history. Although crushed, their legacy of courage and resistance endured. A small fishing settlement on a network of islands changed forever when Portuguese sailors arrived, a hub of trade and the heart of a colony. After independence, it exploded into a bustling megacity of over 2,000 million people, a financial and cultural powerhouse, Nigeria's greatest city.
It was a small fishing settlement on a network of islands and arrived, naming the area after a port in Portugal. In 1861, Britain annexed Lagos. Railways, ports, and businesses would be written across for Sisti, a place where centuries of history, today, continue to shape Nigeria's future.
After Nigeria gained independence in 1960, Lagos exploded into a bustling megacity, becoming the nation's financial, cultural, Lagos and intellectual powerhouse. Although the capital moved to Abuja in 1990, towering skyscrapers, busy ports, vibrant markets, and a place never lost its greatest industry. Lagos stands as one of Africa's of history, continue to shape Nigeria's future. For generations, the kingdom of Ijubu controlled the gateway to Yorubanda, growing wealthy and powerful. By the late 1800s, the British Empire had a different vision. They demanded free trade, but the Awujai, to him, meant surrendering the kingdom's wealth, authority, and independence. In 1892, Britain decided to settle the dispute by force. They fortified forest paths, blocked roads with thick barricades, and launched fierce attacks. Hundreds of British soldiers, supported by African troops, advanced carrying the latest military technology, including the deadly firepower, eventually changed the outcome. Edwin warriors no match for the Maxim gun. But against the world's first fully automatic machine gun, even the fiercest resistance was not enough. The kingdom was defeated, and a new era began. Although defeated, their resistance forced one of the world's most powerful empires to fight for every mile. Hidden deep within the forests stood one of the most powerful kingdoms in West Africa, the Aro-Chukwu Kingdom. For centuries, the Aro Confederacy was a power unmatched, masters of trade, diplomacy, and the sacred oracle. But in 1901, the British Empire brought war. Outgunned but unbroken, the Aro with courage born of their forest, every village a battlefield. Though the kingdom fell, their legacy of resistance would never be erased. Aro-Chukwu Kingdom fell. For years, the Hamba kingdoms ruled with corruption and heavy taxes.
A call, Abidjan reform.
But the call for a just government united thousands.
That was his secular and historic movement.
One by one, the old kingdoms fell. From Soka, a new cavalcade emerged, a vast, stable empire where trade flourished and scholarship thrived, a legacy of faith, unity, and progress that shaped a continent. Within a few decades, a religious movement created one of the largest empires in African history. In the early 800s, a scholar named Usman Dan Fata changed the map of West Africa forever. What began as a movement for reform through revolution. Forced into exile, he declared a jihad. Thousands joined his Sind was born, a vast empire where trade flourished and scholarship was revered. Before armies and empires, there rose a kingdom of peace, a sacred land where influence was not forged by war but by ritual. The Eze Nari, a divine king, spread his rule through a network of priests, and cultural conflict weakened the kingdom. Until 1911, its art, its ritual, and identity endures, alive in the heart of its people. Of craftsmanship and innovation, its influence shaped the beliefs of many societies. But growing conflicts and European influence weakened Erie's authority. Although its political influence faded, its cultural legacy endured. Through rituals and cultural alliance, their influence spread far and wide. Though its political power faded, the cultural legacy of Nara endures. This was the kingdom of Niri, a civilization that wielded power not through force, but through religion, diplomacy, and sacred authority. Centuries before European contact, Niri was a center of advanced craftsmanship and long-distance trade.